Want more podcast fandom in your ear holes? Of course you do. And so it's a good thing for you that we are back beginning all new coverage of some of your favorite shows. And you can still head over to patreon.com/podcastfandom to become a premium subscriber for access to our coverage of shows like Westworld, WandaVision, Loki, Attack on Titan, The Legend of Korra, and more. Also, if you are on Clubhouse, look up our club, Podcast Fandom, where we talk about shows like The Walking Dead and WandaVision. It's so much fun because you guys get to listen live as we discuss TV shows and then come up on stage to ask your questions and share your thoughts. It's a lot of fun. Oh, and we also host game nights there. So make sure you join and follow us. And now, get into this free shit. Hey guys, welcome to Podcast Fandom, the official podcast for ProjectFandom.com. I'm your host, Nina.
I'm Donald.
And I'm John.
And we are back to discuss Sweet Tooth, the season finale. Season 1, Episode 8, Big Man.
Big Man.
His true name. His one true name.
I believe you mean Tommy.
No,
you mean TJ?
Nope. But first we're gonna shoot the shit. Talk about some random nonsense before talking about this episode. John, what do you got?
Well, you just don't make me go first? Wow.
Yes. Why not?
I don't know. I watched some movies this weekend. This long 3-day holiday weekend.
All right, you were off today, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, July 5th. Okay, what did you watch?
Well, on Friday, I watched a movie called Werewolves Within. Have y'all heard of that?
Mm-mm.
It's based on a video game that I've never played, but apparently in the video game, it's kind of like Among Us, where like someone is a werewolf and you have to figure out who it is.
Ah, okay. Oh, so werewolf.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
okay, yeah. It's like Mafia. And like Among Us. Yeah, that type of stuff.
It's kind of like it's like it's a genre of video game. But yeah, I mean, I've never played it, so like I just read about what that game was. But yeah, like the movie is kind of. Y'all seen Wolf Cop, right?
No.
Yes, we saw it.
Did we? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we didn't. No, we didn't. We meant to. Go ahead.
Oh. Well, it's horror comedy. And that's really what, and this is kind of similar, especially it's about a werewolf. So I mean, it's very similar to that movie.
Okay.
But it's really funny, and it's got like Sam Richardson is the star, and Milana Weintraub is the co-star. Like, it's really good. It's really funny. I enjoyed it. Y'all should watch it.
Where'd you watch it at?
It's on Amazon. I rented it.
Oh, okay.
It was $7.
And what else did you watch?
On Saturday. Wait, let me see. Yeah, on Saturday night, I went and saw the new movie Zola.
How was it?
I loved it. I thought it was really good.
That's good. I heard great things, especially coming out of the festival season, like right before COVID.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing about it is, it's a very it's a complete package, I would say. Like, that's how I've been describing it when I've talked about it, because it's like the way it's directed is kind of like it's a bit of like a reportage kind of technique where it kind of ends up feeling like you're watching like cell phone footage. Like it's kind of like, very first person.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is very like first person, view, and kind of like they just let the camera go for like 30 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and not really filming anything. It's just filming, the scenery. And I liked it. Like that did it. It really added to the feeling of it being like a social media movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then let me think. Like the score. The score was fantastic because
Mm-hmm.
it has like throughout the score you can hear like push notification sounds,
Mm.
like a ding or
Right,
like a
right.
buzz. Like it's just it makes the whole movie feel like you're getting notifications
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like throughout the whole thing.
Okay.
And so like that's what I mean by complete package. It just feels like the way that Genesia Bravo and the entire team who made it
Mm-hmm.
approached it was to really adapt a Twitter thread. Like to really like
Uh-huh.
and everything that means.
How
And so like,
was
go ahead.
how was my baby Coleman Domingo?
Oh, he was great.
Sorry.
I mean, he's great every time though.
Right, I know, I know.
Yeah, he was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the actresses' names. What is it? Riley Keough and Taylor Page, I think.
I think
Something
you're
like
right.
They were
Yeah.
both great. They were both really good.
You know who Riley is, right?
I believe so, but I don't remember. Remind me.
Um, Lisa Marie Presley's daughter.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah,
Yeah. Right? Is that right? I
I
think
think
that's
so.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking I've listened to me. I knew that, and then I'm like,
I'm
I'm not
pretty
certain.
sure that's who she is. I like her in the things I've seen her in. She did this
Yeah,
show called, I'm sorry?
She's Lisa Marie Presley's daughter.
Right. At first I was gonna say Elvis's granddaughter, but or Elf. Yeah. Wait. No. Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
but there's no reason to erase Lisa Marie Presley from the
Yeah.
equation.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So I was like, nope. Nope. Yeah, that's her mom. Anyway. I've seen her in. There was a show. God, was it Showtime? Oh man, Donnie, do you remember? It was like. Wait, did you watch it? It was like she was a call girl, like a high end call girl. You don't remember? It was. I think it was on HBO or
The
Showtime. Oh,
girlfriend experience. Is that what you're talking about?
yes, yes, and we've covered it on the show. I don't think I wrote about it. I'm trying to remember who wrote about it, but I definitely watched it, and I liked her acting in that. And then I saw her in one other thing. I'm drawing a blank on,
She
but
was that show was based on a movie. Yeah.
yeah. And then they did another season. I think is Gugu in the second season? Gugu might be in the second season, and someone else. But yeah. Okay. So you enjoyed the movie?
Yeah,
Cool.
it was very good.
Good. Is that all you watched?
No, on Sunday I watched the movie The Tomorrow War on Amazon.
I watched that too.
Did you like it?
Yes, I liked it.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was great. I think it's such a video game. It's
Yes.
such a video game. It feels and it's just a lot of fun. And I liked the premise, like the way they set it up, and like just the way that the movie just drops you right into it. Like you jump, like within like 5 minutes, it's like, oh, here it is. It's like I really enjoyed it, and it's like almost 2.5 hours long.
Yep.
It just kept going, and I when I saw it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes, I was like, this is gonna feel very long, but it didn't. Like it honestly, like it kept feeling like a new movie started every like hour. I liked it.
Why did you hesitate, Donnie?
Because I had to think about it for a second.
Oh, okay.
Because I've watched a lot of shit.
Yeah, you know what Kaylee said to me the other day? She came up here and I was like, "What's your dad doing?" She said he's watching some horror movie, and I was like, "Now?" Because we always like Donnie will watch a horror movie at 7 a.m.
Oh, yeah,
with
that's how I do my Saturday, Sunday mornings.
with a cup of coffee. You come downstairs, Donnie is sitting there early in the morning. So we first noted that. It was like, and so I don't remember when this was, but I was like, now? And she was like, yeah. And then we both were quiet for a second. She goes, and they're always such bad ones, always weird ones.
Because I've watched all the good ones. I got to find all the hidden ones now.
Oh
You,
man.
you gotta watch Werewolves Within. It's good, and it does have like genuine like horror stuff.
Mm.
Like it's a good
You know,
mixture of horror and comedy.
you know who you should talk to, Donnie Rabia, the woman that I co.
She
Uh,
likes horror movies.
yeah, that's her job.
Oh,
Yeah, and yeah, I told her she does she goes to the film festivals in Asia, including in South Korea. And that's why she's been brushing up on her Korean. Yeah, but she's always in really interesting rooms with horror writers and directors and actors and moderating panels and stuff like that. She knows her stuff. So, if you need some recommendations if you're really running dry, you should talk to her.
okay. Yeah, I watched that Fear Street that came out, the part one.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
I
one that's on
added that.
Netflix? Yeah.
Yeah, I just
I
added
really
that.
liked it.
I'm gonna watch it. I
Yeah,
saw
and
the.
the cool thing about the trilogy is it's for one that the first one they show you it takes place I believe in the 80s.
Yeah,
It might be 80s. I believe it's the 80s.
yeah,
So there's 3 films. All of them take place in different time periods,
yeah.
but they're all around the same plot. Like
Got it.
there's something going on in the first one. You'll see. But it reminds me the first one reminded me a lot of Scream. It had a lot of that stuff that you like in the first Scream movie that they portrayed in there. It was really good.
I added it to my queue, and before we went live, what I was actually looking to see some release dates to add some shows to. Donnie, stop messing with your bottle cap. That's not a euphemism. I can literally hear you opening and closing that bottle. I was looking for upcoming shows because I realized, after this, I don't know that we have anything. Oh, I was thinking of starting Hacks for the free show. So, anyway, I was looking up shows and I saw the next installment, I think, is in the 70s. And then the final one is either the 50s or the 60s. Like Fear Street 1966 or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
God, that hurts.
1666.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. See, you're going to make me watch this.
Yeah, they come out every Friday. So the next new one comes out this Friday.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
I watched another movie. A new one came out on HBO Max called No Sudden Move.
I just saw that too. No, not the movie. I mean, I just saw that title when I was going through the releases. What's that? Who's in that?
It's Benicio del Toro and Don Cheadle.
Oh, I was gonna watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Brendan Fraser,
Mm-hmm.
Ray Liotta,
Mm-hmm.
David Harbour is great in it. And it's really interesting because like it's directed by Steven Soderbergh,
Ah,
and he also directed The Girlfriend Experience, the movie that show
that's
was
right.
based on.
That's
And
right.
it's interesting too because like he also directed Magic Mike, which I was thinking like Zola feels like in terms of like the feel of the movie it feels
Yeah.
very Magic Mike,
I can see that. Yeah.
like that and like the Florida Project.
Mm.
It's similar like
Mhm.
in style to the
Yeah.
Florida Project. But anyway, No Sudden Move is really good. I really enjoyed Don Cheadle and Benicio del Toro together.
Mhm.
I thought they were really good. I think that I was nice to see Brendan Fraser back in a good movie.
Oh yeah, when you said his name, I was a bit surprised, and I remembered like just recently. I can't remember what it was. It looked like some sort. I looked like definitely like a red carpet photo, but
Yeah.
the caption was like, he makes a rare public appearance. So I'm guessing it has something to do with that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, if
And
the
I think
movie
this
is new.
is, yeah, I think this is like his first movie since, um, well, Line of Descent 2 years ago, which I don't even remember
I
that
don't remember
movie.
anything about that. Didn't he do some sort of, besides the Mummy franchise, he didn't do like some sort of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen type thing, did he?
Well, he's in Doom Patrol. Other than that,
I know, no, no, no. I meant a film. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of
Like
something else.
you mean like a franchise kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah.
He was
Prob-
in Journey to the Center of the Earth or whatever.
no, I was thinking something like not geared towards kids necessarily.
Mm,
No,
I
I'm
don't
probably
remember.
thinking of somebody else. I'm probably thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, I know. Like the last like movie he did was like years and years ago. Because
Mhm, mhm.
he was abused by that guy, and then he got like blacklisted or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, it was
Um,
nice to see him show up again, and it was just like it was an interesting movie because like Steven Soderbergh knows how to make like a fun, like all-encompassing movie. Like it was very much like you were engrossed into the world of this movie.
mhm,
Right?
mhm.
It feels similar to like the Ocean's movies,
Uh-huh.
which Steven Soderbergh
The
also did.
yeah.
Yeah, like with George Clooney and all those and Brad Pitt and everybody.
Mhm.
And like, but like in this movie, it was so interesting because people like they look different. I don't know how else to say it. Like people like they don't look the way you expect them to. Like it's very interesting. Like I don't think a single person in this movie, like when they show up, you go,
Uh-huh.
oh yeah, that's what they look like.
Oh,
You
okay,
know?
okay. Yeah.
It's very like interesting because like David Harbour is like he's wearing like glasses and he's an office worker
Okay, gotcha.
and like he doesn't look like himself like
Mhm.
uh I think Benicio del Toro probably he looks very similar to himself, but like and I mean Don Cheadle is very similar, but like he sounds different. Don Cheadle does. He's like doing like kind of voice, but like John
Mhm.
Hamm's in it and he looks very different.
Wow.
Ray Liotta, I mean, like, and some of this is just like these guys are, older,
Older. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so like they just look different. But it was just very interesting. It felt similar to kind of like a Coen Brothers movie, kind of like Burn After Reading. I remember that
I
where,
know. Yeah, I didn't see it, but I know which one. Yeah.
yeah, and like in that, like Brad Pitt looks like wildly different. Anyway, it was no Sun movie is a good movie. It's a really good movie. Like all four of those movies that I mentioned
Hmm.
are worth watching. They're very good for different
Donnie,
reasons.
do you have anything?
do I have anything? No,
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
none. I'm just ready to get started.
Well, I mean, you talked about the Tomorrow War and Fear Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are two things.
So I'm just going to update you guys on podcast stuff. I have been busy, busy, busy. So, where are we? July 5th, Monday. Okay, yeah. So this is the last time we're going to be talking about Sweet Tooth. Um, a reminder, if you're premium and you've been following Attack on Titan, um, because I'm enjoying it so much, and I was like, there's no way these three 25-minute episodes are going to tide me over a week. We have decided to do it twice a week. So we're doing Sundays and Wednesdays. So in 2 nights, Kaylee and I will be getting together to discuss season 1, episodes 11 through 13. We have Loki this Thursday, also premium. And I am, there are a couple of shows that people suggested that I was like, I'm interested, but I don't know if I want to do it weekly. You know what I mean? Like one episode here or 2 episodes there. So I thought, you know what? There are like 6 to 10 episode seasons, some of these shows. I was like, I'll do a binge in a day or so, just put it on while I'm doing other stuff. and take notes and talk about it. So I was deciding between Motherland Fort Salem, which I mentioned before. It's on Freeform, and the second season just began a week or so ago. Um, and Black Summer, the show you're watching or have watched, Donnie, right?
Yeah, I watched the first season.
Oh, I thought you watched the second season.
No, I haven't got into the second season.
And it is the whole season, right? It's not weekly.
No, it's the whole season.
Okay. So, those were the two most requested shows. So I couldn't decide. So I put a poll up in the Facebook group this morning, and the votes were pretty even. And so I was like, okay, I will watch the first episode of both shows today and make a decision based on, like, just my interests. And I watched the first episode of Motherland Fort Salem. Really enjoyed it. It was like, oh, I can just stick with this.
Now you get the other one a shot.
But wait, so I went back to look at the poll, and by then, like a few hours had passed since I posted the poll, and the last I had checked, it was even. And so again, maybe an hour or so goes by before I actually started the episode. So when I went and looked after watching it, Motherland was like way ahead. So I didn't feel as bad. But yeah, so I think by probably during the day Thursday, again, because if it's solo stuff, I can do this during the day. I'm probably going to knock out like the first 5 episodes, and then next week I'll do the bottom 5, the last 5 of the season, because it's only 10 episodes. What else? Beyond Evil, I did the first 2 episodes. It is so good, so good. It is a Korean crime drama. It is about 2 cops in a small like rural town trying to track was seemingly a serial killer who committed this horrible crime 20 years ago and was never caught. And now there's some similar stuff going on. So I did the first 2 episodes of that, Friday, I think. Really, really good. And this was, when I said that I wanted to do a K-drama, this one was the most recommended. And then I checked and I saw like it won a bunch of awards. So I'm super excited. So I'll be doing the next 2 episodes. And then Donnie and I will be starting Money Heist this weekend. We were supposed to start it this past weekend, but my poor planning, I forgot it was a holiday weekend. And we didn't really feel like doing shit. So I literally did like nothing today because I did quote unquote work related stuff over the weekend, like podcast stuff and some freelance editing stuff. So, yeah, I absolutely did nothing today. Mm-hmm. I celebrated the 4th by just, choosing to do nothing today.
I was gonna watch today. I was gonna watch Summer of Soul.
Yeah, I was gonna watch that too.
And I just laid in bed all day, and I was like, it's late now. It was genuinely like 2 p.m. I was like, it's too late for me to watch this.
I ended up watching, like I said, I watched that episode. I watched, I was doing an Attack on Titan rewatch and just kind of like live commenting on it in the group. I think I watched like 1 or 2 episodes of that today. And what else? I think I watched some like reaction videos, and then of course I watched this to take notes, Sweet Tooth.
I considered, because when I was looking for things to watch this weekend, I kept seeing Black Summer, and I was like, what if I watch this? But this was the weekend. When I saw it this weekend was the first time I realized there were 2 fucking seasons.
Yeah, yeah. Remember, this is the show we were talking about that Donnie was like, the woman speaks Korean, but they don't translate it, and he was like, he wanted me to go watch the whole first season.
See, I was under the impression that like the first season had just started or whatever, like the first season had just dropped. But then I was like, there's 2 seasons, and then I was like, oh yeah, and it's also like connected to Z Nation, which I've never watched.
Mm.
So I was like, I'm just not gonna watch this.
Yeah, I don't think I
Yeah,
don't.
because it's a prequel that it doesn't like. Because I never
Yeah,
watched Z Nation, but it's still, it's being a prequel. It's not gonna have. You're not gonna really, I guess, know anything.
yeah. I was gonna say I remember when the first season, and I was like teasing people for not telling me that it was a prequel in the group. People who had watched it saying like you don't need to have watched it. All Z Nation. Although I am very familiar with it because Rex reviewed it for the site, and I would edit his
Mhm.
reviews and post them. So, um,
That
but
was
yeah,
the show with the zombie baby, right?
Yes.
yes, and
Yeah.
God, I can't think of the actor's name right now. But anyway, what was I saying? Black Summer, Black Summer. Oh, from what I've seen in the group about Black Summer, again, it was one of the highly requested ones. Um, it's like an interesting take on the zombies. I guess they're fast.
Yeah.
um, and people seem to really like it. So, and like surprisingly, people are like, I wasn't expecting much, but wow, this is really good. So, so that's gonna be next, you guys. But I did add Fort Salem to the schedule because I can be knocking out TV shows like 2 a week. Um, while I'm doing other stuff. And I will make one of those free, I guess, because yeah, we don't have anything. Um, so I'm open to suggestions as always. Like I said, right before we went live, that's what I was doing. I was looking to see what's interesting. There are a few movies that I want to watch and I'm willing to talk about. Like, um, apparently we're paying $30 for Black Widow because two people in this house really want to see it. So for that matter, um, yeah, Jack really wants to see it. I'm willing to talk. I'm willing to watch it and talk about it. That Gunpowder Milkshake. That's something I'm definitely going to watch. I'm willing to podcast that, but
When's that come out?
sometime next month, I think.
Oh, okay.
But pretty soon. I was I was just scrolling through. Um, but yeah, open to suggestions for other television shows.
I'm
And
I'm gonna go watch Space Jam when it comes out.
Aww.
What is that about?
Kills me.
No, because I was like, he really gonna like go out like you. That's the serious commitment, I think.
No, wait, no, it's gonna be on fucking HBO Max, isn't it?
Oh, okay,
I think
yeah,
so. I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have to go out and watch it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were like, because you said I'm gonna go out.
I mean, I was gonna go out and see it.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
then it's
yeah.
on HBO Max, so I'm gonna stay at home and see it.
Yeah, please do. I'm still scared. I don't know
I'm
why. I'm like, I was such a panic after going out to meet my brother. Like, I was just like, ugh.
hmm
Have we talked about that? Like, have we talked about post vaccination? Is there a
I don't think
syndrome?
so.
Is there a like? Let me like we okay. Okay, now we're about to get deep. The shoot the shit's about to get a little deep. Um, sorry. No, I'm serious.
Deep
So
shit.
shut up, you guys. Y'all gonna feel so bad when you hear what I have to say.
I already
Um,
feel bad, so haha.
Shut up. So, um, you guys know that this is all going to connect together. Trust me. You guys know that I was married before, and
What?
What?
yeah, you know what? And he was not a very good person. He was not a very good person to me. He was, quite abusive, and and so recently I had a dream that I was in a car with him. He was driving, and I was just tense and a feeling like I have not felt since being with him. Just a feeling of just like a smallness. And so we're in the car and it's raining and it's daytime, but it's raining, it's overcast, it's just gray and miserable. I'm miserable. And we are about to go onto a bridge and he suddenly jerks the car to the left and purposely plunges the car into water. And I can't swim in my dreams in real life. And the sound and the feeling of the car hitting water and everything going dark, and the sound of submerging, being in a contained space that's submerging underwater, and knowing that you're going to die, because I cannot swim. I awoke so violently that I had a headache. And do you want to know, like, one of the things he used to do, one of the ways he used to torment me was to wake me up violently, to have a problem with me, but to not say it until I was asleep, and to wait until I'm like good and asleep, and to just violently wake me up by yelling into my ear or shaking me or standing over me yelling, that type of thing. And every fucking time I would get a migraine. And so since then, to this day, I can't be awake suddenly. You can't like make a loud noise. If I wake up violently, I have a headache. And so that happened the other day. And it was a horrible feeling. My heart was pounding. It was just like the worst feeling. And it affected like my mood, as you can imagine, for the entire day. Well, then we go to see my brother, who's in town. My brother's a flight attendant, and he was just in town, like overnight layover. And it was pretty late. And this was after we recorded, I guess, last week's Loki podcast, right? Mm-hmm. And we're in the car, and there was a couple of things happening. One, I was panicked about everything about being in that car. I just thought, I'm outside again, and you tend to feel, I guess, safe when you're home a lot, if that makes sense. Now I'm getting really sad. But I was in that car feeling like, Donnie's driving too fast. He's driving too fast. We're going to crash. What if something happens? Like, you're so close. You're so close, to doing great things. Like, what's happening? You're going to die. You're going to die. Like, I started having a panic attack, essentially. Sitting in the car, I was gripping the door handle, and I'm like, and I also, Donnie knows this, I get car sick anyway, for some reason. And so I just was getting nauseous and panic. Now, so there's that. And I'm thinking, just panicked being in a car again, if that makes sense. I can't explain it any other way. Like, I was just terrified that I was in a car again. So there's that. And then the next thing, this is the part where I know it's going to sound crazy, and Donnie has not heard this, but Donnie and I had a fight the day before. And we're in the car, and for some reason, we were about to get onto, I don't know what it's called. Donnie, when the spirally overpass? Is it I-5? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, so it reminded me of the dream. And in like a moment, I thought, what if he's mad at me? What if he just drives this car off the thing? Like, that is a possibility. That could happen. Men do things like that. And it occurred to me, I know this is going to sound crazy, but it occurred to me that I'm just afraid of men. Mm-hmm. Not specifically Donnie all the time, but just like in general, right? There is a part of me that thinks that they all have the capability of hurting me. That there is just a thing that can happen that can make a man, this man, that man, any man hurt me. And there would be nothing I could do about it. And I was just terrified, and I can't, and come on, like, I'm not afraid of many things, you know what I mean? Or people. I'm not afraid of confrontation, But like that realization sitting in the car, it stunned me. I was like, I am absolutely afraid of men. Now, that's not to say, Donnie, that I think that he would, but I was like, it could. I don't, how many women find themselves in situations and thinking, I didn't think he would do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, anyway. Aren't you
I
fucking?
mean,
Don't you feel bad for making fun of me now? Hmm.
no.
I mean, I'm afraid of bees because you never know. I mean, any
Oh,
one of them could sting you.
stop it! But I am afraid of men, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, your ex-husband sounds like a complete dick,
Yeah, absolutely.
like an insane person.
Yes, absolutely. It's a lot worse, which I've talked about on the podcast before. Yeah,
Hmm.
not a very nice person. Um. So anyway, what the
Do we
fuck?
want to end shoot the shit on a positive note or no?
Sure. Did somebody terrible die?
Oh God, I wish. That would be amazing. Hold on, let me check the news. No.
Right? We had
Been a lot of
Rumsfeld.
sad deaths
We had
today.
Rumsfeld the other day, but
Oh man, yeah, that's right.
hmm
We could continue celebrating that.
yes.
I was just gonna ask like if there are any movies that y'all are looking forward to because we're talking about movies.
Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. Do I still have that link up? No, unfortunately, I don't. I am looking forward to. Wait, do you mean like going back to the movies or?
I mean, any, but I mean, I'm guessing that you don't want to go to the movies, but like
No,
any movie
I've.
that's coming up, that are you excited
Yeah.
about?
Oh, yeah. So I'm scrolling through right now because off the top of my head, though, obviously the Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
And that is dropping when I'm in Korea, so that's interesting. Like that might be a fun experience depending on um COVID and obviously, But
Mm-hmm.
um I said the gunpowder milkshake, right?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to see that. Um you guys can jump in anytime. I'm
I'm
still
trying to think
scrolling
How
what
about
through.
there was a couple of HBO Max movies that were coming out this year, and I can't remember what they were now.
how about the M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Yes.
Old.
Did that
Yes,
come out this year?
when is that? Cuz
That's July 23rd.
And
Oh,
that's
shit.
theater. Is it theater only?
I probably it's Universal, so it's probably going to be only theaters. But it might be, on Amazon for rent or something.
I hope so because I want to see it badly, but not enough to go to the theater yet. I'm being very selective about
Mm.
why I leave the house.
Suicide Squad looks fun.
Yeah. How
I
about
don't,
Snake Eyes?
that comes out this year too?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna see that.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not. I'm
I
not.
think it looks good. You would have said, "Hey, do you have any interest in watching a new G.I. Joe movie about Snake Eyes?" I'd have been like, "No." But I saw the trailer and I was like, "Man, this looks good." Like it genuinely looks like a solid like action movie. And so
Okay.
like I'm not gonna go see it, but I'm interested in watching it.
Yeah. So I would just say the Marvel movies at this point.
Also, how about The Green Knight? I saw a trailer
Oh,
for
I
that.
saw a trailer for that too.
It was in front of Zola when I saw it, and
Hmm.
I was like, "This looks badass."
It does. Donnie, have you seen the trailer for that?
I have not. I don't even know what the fuck you guys are
And
talking
I love
Oh
Dev
God.
Patel. He's great.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I
Like that
know
was
the Masters of the Universe. I'm sure that's a movie, right? It's not
about.
a
No, I thought
TV
it was a
show.
TV show.
Oh, is it a
yeah,
TV show?
yeah.
I
It's
thought it was
TV.
a
They're
movie.
dropping 5 episodes on July 23rd, I think.
Oh, speaking of which, we need to talk about this because, well, first of all, I'm going to cover Titans regardless. Irregardless. I know that's not a word. I just wanted to say it. I'm going to cover the third season of Titans. So as I was making the schedule, it drops August 12th, I believe. And they're doing that annoying fucking thing where they're dropping 3 episodes that first week and then it's weekly.
Mm.
Which I guess is like, I mean, in one sense, it's like, all right, you know what? If I commit these 3 episodes and it sucks, then I gave it a good go. You know what I mean? I gave it a good old college try. But it's just a pain in the ass when scheduling for a podcast. It's like, do we want to, it drops on the 12th. Do we just want to give ourselves like 3 days to watch the episodes and then talk about it and see how we feel? So you guys got to let me know. And it's on HBO Max for if those of you who canceled your DC universe.
No, DC Universe canceled for you.
Yeah, that's true too. But I mean, before then, there were people who left because the second season of Titan sucks. So I'm letting those folks know, like, you don't have to go back to that. It's on HBO Max now, because as John said, there's no more DC universe.
It's just comic books now, which is
Yeah, right. Which is great. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to do in terms of breaking that up, or even if you want to join me in talking about it. But I'm going to be watching it. And Donnie, you're right. It is a bunch of Batman villains this season, and they're teasing the Joker, I think, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I did see something popped up today in my feed that Beast Boy is supposed to learn how to transform into different things this season.
Oh, right, because they did hint at that, right?
Yeah.
Because that organization had him.
Right.
Yeah.
I seriously don't remember like the last half of that season.
I mean, understandable. It's not like it was like groundbreaking. I do feel like for the most part we enjoyed it, but
I just remember them being in some fucking tower. Like, I don't know.
Titan Tower.
Yeah, Titan Tower. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Next month, there's also a movie called The Protege coming out. I saw a trailer for it in front of Zola too.
Mm-hmm.
It looked interesting. It's Maggie Q is the star of it, but it's got Samuel L. Jackson, and Michael Keaton is like the bad guy.
He's having a bit of a, what do we call it? What do we call it?
Keaton-a-sance.
Yeah, Keaton-a-sance.
Keaton-a-sance.
Yes. Thank you. Right? I feel like he's just everywhere lately.
Well, because he's playing his original Batman. I think that's why he's such.
Yeah, but he's
That's
also
gonna be awesome.
He's that, but he's also he's in the Flash movie.
That's what I'm talking about.
No. I thought
he's in the Venom, the second Venom movie, right? He's in the Carnage. Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think he's gonna be Vulture in that. I think.
Oh no,
he was in the trailer, but they didn't confirm that he's playing Vulture. But
I didn't even dawn on me.
So Michael, why did I think Michael Keaton in the Flash was playing? That he was replacing the guy who played his father, who played Barry's father in prison.
No, he's Batman. He's playing his original Batman.
Because
they're doing the whole
I get it now.
Flashpoint
thing. Yeah. Okay, I get it now. I'm sorry. I was getting my universes mixed up.
No, he's in Morbius. That's the one he's in. He's not in the Carnage movie. He's in Morbius. As Vulture.
Okay.
Yeah, he's everywhere. It's like ever since like Birdman. Ever since he did that movie and he won an Oscar, he's like everywhere. Spotlight, Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. But we are now going to talk about Sweet Tooth, the season finale.
From Spider-Man to Big Man.
TJ.
Oh, and I know John's not doing this, but The Walking Dead returns August 22nd.
Yes.
It is the final season. It is a 24 episode season that's broken into multiple parts.
John.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. They are
milking it.
They are not going quietly into the dark night or whatever it is.
Once more unto the breach.
So, August 22nd is the first part, and it's 8 episodes. So,
oh my God!
Please stop making me laugh.
This is like 8. It's so like, what have they said what the interval is between the first 8 and the second 8 and the third 8?
Well, they used to. It used to be
stop right around
October,
there and pick back up. Yeah, pick up back in like
be,
February or something.
Yeah, it used to be October, and then those 8 weeks, and then it was on a break, and then it would come back in like February and do 8 weeks. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm guessing they're gonna stick to a similar schedule. So I don't know why they just don't say it's 2 seasons.
Right.
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
that's
It's one
normally.
season.
So they can say this is the final season because they want like that's going to be a ratings boost, probably. Just
I mean, you
saying
just
it's the
stretch it
final
out. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
season.
yeah.
Mhm. It's the final season. We're making 43 new episodes.
It was like, remember that season when we kept saying we were going to war? It was going to be like that. On the road to war again. Um. Anyway, so I think Donnie wants to podcast that or go back to doing the clubhouses. It's up to you. I don't care.
Okay.
But I'm super excited because I really liked where the show was going last season. So, all right, Sweet Tooth, Big Man, the finale. I don't know why I'm singing. Donnie watched this. Okay, well, first of all, no, I have got to say, I don't know what the fuck it is with me in this show, but I don't know shit. I don't know
Don't know
shit.
shit about shit.
I didn't know shit about shit. I watched this finale. Like, what? Like, things were happening, and I was like, wait, it's just one timeline?
I mean, like, honestly, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I guess we were wrong the entire season.
Like everything I thought I knew. And so as I'm watching it, I watched it a little before Donnie. And he was watching it downstairs and he sends me a message and he goes, I could have wrote this. Because he was saying
we just finished the podcast and we said,
Yes.
and I was like, this is what I just said on the
Yeah.
podcast. Like,
Donnie
I could have
has
wrote this
said-
whole fucking finale.
Donnie said stuff that, like, I remember in the podcast, I was like, oh, bless your heart. But then
Right.
it's like,
You guys were-
what if
both
what
of
if-
you guys are like, no.
what if that's his sister? What if this?
I don't
Anyway.
remember any of this.
I do. Unfortunately. Anyway, so what did you guys think? Donnie, what you think?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, I still have questions about the timeline thing, but the only thing I would say is everything is, and we've said it before, it's very coincidental, and it makes the world feel a lot smaller than
Right.
it is. Like this guy that's running everything, whatever the fuck his name is,
Abbott.
Abbott, like he's literally just over Colorado. It's not over the whole world. It's just it just seems like everything's taking place in Colorado rather than what the fuck is going on in the rest
Yeah,
of
this
Yeah,
fucking zoo.
yeah.
When they came pulling up to the
Yeah,
zoo, like,
and I looked at, like, very first shot of the zoo comes up, and I look at the sign, and I was like, and it says Essex. And I was like, God damn it. So
it's like it did feel very small because like they come up to the airplane and pick up Gus, and then they like drive to the zoo, and
zoo.
it's like 10 minutes later, and it's
right,
like,
and
okay.
then just the in like you meet all the characters, or all the characters basically connect somehow now. Like this episode's like,
yeah.
oh, this is who,
But listen,
the
that's-
pig girl is her
Okay,
sister.
but here's
and,
the thing. Look, I get you, but also that's part of like a whimsical tale like this. It's
right,
almost
right.
like
Not,
a fairy
I have no
tale.
complaints. I mean,
You know what I
still-
mean?
still
Like
love
you
her
kind
best.
of that's just the way it works in fairy tales.
The only thing I would say is why the fuck is Mamba, whatever the fuck you want to call her, is in Alaska.
Who the fuck is Mamba?
Birdie.
Oh,
Bird.
because no, that
Like,
was
what?
It's
actually
Timon
like
and Pumbaa.
it
Like,
was
she didn't even go
actually
look
the
for- like she didn't even go look for his ass. She just went straight to Alaska.
no, because that makes sense because she's probably trying to figure out the cure or something like that, and she can do it in peace, and she knows how to survive out there, and she can. What did I say? Do it in peace. Oh, and she doesn't have to worry about getting sick because she's out there isolated. I thought that was really smart.
Yeah, unless she gets like pneumonia.
But they've established that she knows how to live out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I'm
yeah.
with you.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so but you liked it,
Yes.
even the coincidental stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, the coincidental stuff is like, is everybody a Skywalker?
Basically, yes.
What about you, John?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. I thought it was a really nice way to like it is like all season. This is kind of indicative of just being people, us, who have watched a lot of TV. And I think that's because, like, and I'll speak just for myself. I was watching this season and like the whole timeline thing, and I was just like, "Oh, like this looks like it's a different timeline." And it's like if I was just thinking, if I had not watched it like that and just watched it straightforward, I would. They never said anything that led us to believe anything. We just jumped to conclusions.
But we jump to conclusions from asking questions because to our in our defense, I guess. But they still haven't really. Wait. Let me finish. They still haven't shown us how we got from certain points. Do you know what I mean? Like, even in this episode, you're sitting there at a point where, because the couple we met in whatever episode it was, she said, Rusty was one of the last, natural born, or, pure human babies or whatever. So at some point, women were still having human babies until at some point they weren't, right?
Yeah, and even here, Tommy was hoping that his kid would be a human.
Right. So you see, when that's going on, it's somewhat controlled, if you will. We see that couples had taken their babies home, right? Like Becky's sister, right? And then, but at the same time, you see Big Man sitting there watching the news, and they're saying how fast that disease is spreading, and how they're still not sure there's like a link between that and that. Okay, how do we get from there to snatching people's children, you know what I mean, and killing their, right? And then how did Abbott get so much control? Because, maybe we thought the world was a lot bigger than it was, but even just saying, well, he just controls Colorado, like what?
Like, why?
Right.
Why does he control Colorado?
So I think our questions, like, the conclusions or whatever, to my recollection, were basically us trying to make sense of why would this be here? How bad is the world here? Why, who are these people and why do they have authority? So,
I mean, there are definitely like questions for sure.
Yeah,
I was just thinking, like, the show, like, I don't feel like the show was misleading, I guess is what I'm saying. And so, like, when I got to this finale, I didn't feel misled. I didn't feel let down because I was like, oh, well, I guess I was wrong. It was just I was wrong. It was like, so, like, I was just saying, I don't think it's the show's fault. And I didn't blame the show at all while I was watching it. But I will say, I don't think Abbott is just over Colorado. I think it might just be like a certain region of the country, but because we know that he at least has a presence in Wyoming or wherever the fuck Yellowstone Park is.
Wait, what do you mean?
Because that guy showed up and he was like, "Ooh, it's bad out here," and
he flagged them
or whatever. Yeah.
And I wondered. Yeah, that's true. And
so I think they at least have a presence.
Like, and if it is just Colorado, like, what was the doctor's name? Like, you faked your death and then you just stayed in his state, like, right? Like, you would think that she was still within his jurisdiction, the way he just rolled up and did what he did. With he had the lights and the tanks and shit. So it's like, if she didn't stay in Colorado, then he's like freely roaming in other states doing shit like this. So, like, what's that about? Yeah.
It is a very nebulous world of this show. Like, it isn't something that is very well defined. Like,
and because it's straightforward, the story is straightforward, then that's fine. You know what I mean? I think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a detriment to the show. I just think it's things that they haven't said yet.
Yeah.
It's just something that they haven't told us. They haven't told us exactly what everywhere looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we were assuming like, oh, the zoo is in New York or something,
Mm-hmm.
and so like it felt like, oh, the entire country is exactly like this.
Yeah.
But now because we know now that we're just seeing this one like 2-state area,
Mm-hmm.
like we don't know what the rest of the world looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like it's just stuff that they haven't told us yet, and so that means that they could tell us anything.
Yeah. And hopefully they get a second season.
I'd be fucking pissed if this show doesn't get
Okay.
Because
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
it ends with
You
it's
can't
like
end like that. And
Yeah.
they
yeah.
ended like the second season's already written.
yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I will say, like, just to wrap it up, what I'm saying is, I got really emotional at the end
Mm-hmm.
when all the hybrids are there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like they hugged him and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is sad and
Yeah.
happy at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
He got what he wanted. He got to the preserve or whatever.
Right.
But it's like
Right.
in prison.
Listen, I really, you guys know, I love this show. I've raved about it all season. This did not disappoint, but I absolutely didn't know shit. And so for me, watching this episode was just like a revelation.
His name is Tommy? What?
That's why they call
Oh
him.
my God, it was just so much. It was so much of like, what? Huh?
When he ran, I was like, oh no.
Oh my God.
I was so glad he went back.
Yes, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm gonna save the things that like what the fuck as we talk about the episode. But just say that even though, I was like, okay, if I was wrong about that, I still really, really enjoyed it. And I really do want it to get a second season. I will say one thing I noted going into this episode, like this very first scene, which is a flashback to like as shit was breaking down. That I was reminded of what John said about like if it wasn't the type of show it was, he wouldn't be watching it because some of it was so close to COVID. And it starts with this fucking Trumper like
Yeah, this fucking vapor
Q
is
on
his
it
fucking
or whatever.
vape. And
Yes.
he's like, oh,
Big
it's
Pharma is
conspiracy.
just trying to scare us.
He was like, who? And he goes, Big Pharma, the lefties, the this, the communists. He was just, who knows? And I'm like, you should know.
But like, it was so satisfying when he get hit by that car.
Yes.
like a fucking pizza guy pulling up to the McAllister's house in Home Alone.
No. Like, what's his name in Superbad?
Yeah, Jonah Hill.
Yes.
He's like, oh, I'm fine. I'm good.
It's like, the fuck was that? Oh my God. 'Cause at one point he goes,
So good.
he
And
just
Tommy
goes,
was like,
he goes, why? I will never forget. Donnie, do you
I was
remember
gonna pick that for our Sunday movie too.
with
I
the
almost
kids? Oh God.
did.
Oh man. Yeah, I remember watching that. Now I'm drawing a blank if either it was late in my pregnancy with Jack or like when he was home in a newborn. But I think he was home in a newborn and I was breastfeeding him and watched that for the first time. I don't know if you remember this. It was late at night. We were watching it.
You've watched it many, many times since.
And
Just
then
as
with that one scene, I laughed so hard. I got this poor baby attached to my nipple, and I'm just sitting there trying hard not to scream. Oh my God, I love that scene. But anyway,
I just looked up to see what year it came out, and it came out on my birthday in 2007.
wow.
Happy birthday to me.
Yeah. So yeah, I was reminded of that. I was like, wow, this is so much like, again, anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers and Trumpers
Yeah.
and white
And then
people.
then when he fucking goes in, and I was like, I've been here. I've
Yeah.
been in this situation. Like, I
Yeah.
know, like, this show and this story was obviously from, like, 12 years ago or some shit.
Right.
But, like, they were still filming it after COVID kicked off. And so, like, I can't help but feel like it had to have influenced the way they set this scene up.
Mm.
I just, because it just felt so much like the way things have been for the past year.
But to be fair, I feel like this is also just like every scene in things like this, like
True.
Contagion and The Stand, and it's kind of like it's just. I think it speaks more to the fact that people are really terrible.
Right.
Like, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Like people
are
were writing about
imitating
this
life.
stuff years ago. They knew this shit was gonna happen,
That
and there's
people
always
are
gonna be people out
capable.
there.
Yeah,
It's
but and
not-
then I guess it's based on history too, to some degree. It just it looks different, obviously, as
Yeah, it's
technology and stuff advances. But I'm pretty sure we've always been terrible.
Yeah,
Like I'm
but
pretty sure there are a
mean,
lot
like,
of terrible people on the Titanic. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh,
John.
yeah, there were a lot of terrible people on
Yeah.
the Titanic,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a lot of them died. Um, I was just saying, terrible people. Anyway.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I meant like the way that it's like the setting of like the scenery and the set design and just the way it looked and
With
like,
him like looking around at people with masks,
yeah,
and he's like,
everybody's
"Oh,
sitting there with their mask on
Yeah,
and him,
yeah.
with his like bandana or whatever,
Mhm.
and like the sign that was like, "Please keep distance," and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah."
I was just like, it feels like. I don't know. It was very triggering. Honestly, it was
yeah,
very
yeah.
traumatic. And then it was also very traumatic how fucking small that TV was. 'Cause I'm like, well, what the fuck? Why is this TV so small? It wasn't like a
It's
TV
just-
they brought in that wasn't supposed to be. It was like the TV for this
It
wedding.
was, but like maybe maybe this is typically not that many people meant to be in that waiting room. I don't know.
So fucking small. It was
Weird.
like he was sitting probably 12 feet from it, and it was like that's a 12-inch TV. It was like so small.
Okay.
I'm just
But,
saying it was
yo.
very small. It was like a tube TV too.
So you see how when you say tube TV, now I'm just thinking of that scene in oh God, Nightmare on Elm Street. Do you remember? Is
Uh-huh.
it the second one when they're in the mental hospital psychiatric ward?
Third.
And the guy in the rec room
Uh-huh.
in the TV. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, so we see that this is like
Brave Little Toaster.
Hmm?
I thought of Brave Little Toaster when I said tubes.
Oh.
The radio tubes. Anyway. Go ahead.
So we see that his stuff was breaking down. Like people, there's again all these regulations in place. You have to wear your mask, and they were like disinfecting outside the hospital. Big man, wife's in labor, right? Wait, when he hits that Trumper with his car, he's like, "How could you not see me? I'm so yellow." And that just
Oh.
killed me. That killed me. And that's why it really reminded me of that super bad scene. Because a lot of the stuff he said after he got hit, it was kind of like didn't really make sense. Anyway,
And that guy was like blowing his vape smoke.
yes, and
into-
because they started fighting. Yeah, he's like, "You've changed, man."
It's like, yeah, I changed. I don't want to die. Like, this is such just
He's like, I
everyone.
read the fucking room. Yeah. So at first I thought what we were seeing was we were gonna see that, well, and I guess technically he was, that Big Man's Child was one of the first, meaning one of the ones that were in the nursery when we first met Sing.
Mhm.
You get what I mean? I thought we were going that far back to that day. But apparently this is after that.
Right.
People have been
People are
having
having
hybrids
kids.
for a while.
Right.
Yeah. So
Seems like this is probably like 6 months later, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Like not long after that. It didn't feel like.
um
But I don't even want to talk about timelines on this show anymore.
yeah. And this actor that gosh, I just forgot his name that fast. That plays Big Man. I was scrolling through Netflix earlier, and Zoo. Did we mention that
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
on that show?
He is.
Not
I was
so
going to ask
amazing.
you if that was him.
Well, I forgot that he was on that show, and it's weird because, like, we've talked about how Netflix will do the thing where, like, if they figure out you're black, they change the covers of shows to feature
Mm-hmm.
a black character, whether or not the black character is central to the plot or not. So at first I was like, why suddenly? Because before I swear it was like a lion's face.
But now they're like, we got him on a show, so now
Yeah.
there's people to know he's
And
in
you're
this other one,
watching
too.
that show. Yeah, so maybe you'll watch this. So now it's just him on there. So yeah, I couldn't remember if we talked about that or not, but I saw that earlier today.
He was also in the Guava Island movie that Donald Glover did. I just saw that earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, he was in
Oh, I
that.
forgot all about that. So Bear and Big Man are discussing the fact that Gus ran away, and they're discussing the stuff they saw in the boxes. Like, she's like, what if Gus was the first? Because his birth date was the day before the first babies were born in the hospital. And
And that's
oh,
another thing that we don't have an answer to. Is
Yeah.
how it got from him to everybody else.
yes. They talk about whether this information changes anything, in terms of whether the hybrids are responsible for the sick. And they decide Bear is going to stay at the house in case he comes back while Big Man goes out looking for him. Now, this is one thing, Johnny, you were absolutely right about from the beginning. I don't know if you remember this. And if you don't, maybe I shouldn't have said anything because you're about to be unbearable.
He's like, yeah, I remember.
Don't fear
Gus,
me, Nina. Don't
shut
fear
up.
me.
Shut up. Gus finds the plane and these flyers.
Mm-hmm.
And Donnie had said before that it is possible that the bad people, at the time we didn't know exactly who they were, but like Abbott, these last men, were just mimicking what she does in terms of these flyers and corral people, right? So is that what that was their plane, right? Because Amy ain't have no goddamn plane.
Right. No, this
And
is their plane.
also her signs look different. Like they were clearly photocopies of her signs.
Right.
Made to look like hers.
Right.
So that's really so just really fucked up and diabolical because it's like if you're out there on the run, and we know these are children, it's like you're just hoping they come across the right one. And that it's, oh God.
I mean, like you said, diabolical. Like Abbott went full Hitler in this
Yes.
episode.
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
Like, Jesus,
yes.
That went from 0 to 100 fast. Well,
it was
from 20 to 100.
Right, because at first it was kind of like this, almost not understandable, but there's these two. You have this one bizarre, traumatic thing happening, right, with women giving birth to, or people giving birth to hybrids, right? And then you have this deadly disease that has decimated what seems like most of the world, right? I can see, they're like, did this cause this? I can understand where things were, to put it mildly, where tensions would be high, And so I don't know if I really paid him too much mind, at least his motives, I just thought, oh, it's just that ignorant fear, right, of something that's different. And also self-preservation, not wanting to die because there's this disease. He seems to be super afraid of catching the sick, right? But this time it was just like you said, it was like genocide. He's like, we need to. Yeah, it took on a different tone.
It's like he was already like wanting to kill all the hybrids, which, like you said, it's bad, but it's like all the things you just said.
Right, it's a fear you can kind of understand.
Yeah, and in this
to
episode,
a degree,
when he's talking to Sing, and he's like, what do you say? So I can decide who lives and who doesn't.
Yes.
And I was like, wait a minute, that's not just hybrids.
Yes.
That's everybody.
He doesn't want a cure, he wants the cure, which I think is obviously something that's going to put him at odds with whatever Birdie's doing, because I absolutely believe that's what she's doing. And I don't know if that looks like no more hybrids. So then these are just, or you learn to, because at this point, what they're saying, so as far as we know, plot wise, there are no more human babies being born. So it feels like any kind of cure to the sick, does that come at the expense of like, oh, well, they're also going to, that's going to fix whatever the fertility issue became,
And then will that put like Birdie at odds with Amy?
Right, because Amy, you see, believes what Bear used to, which was that this was like natural evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
if
humans
not,
are going to go extinct. And
right. And if not God, then definitely something like Mother Nature kind of revolting against shitty humans. Well, she may not be wrong. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like, it's all these different things at play that I think are really interesting for a season 2.
Yeah, and one of the things that learning that all of this is taking place in a relatively small area, it like that opens up I think not just possibility, but inevitability that there's someone else who's going to be bigger than Abbott.
Yeah.
Someone else is going to come along by season 2 or season 3, and like they're going to be like the new Abbott, who's like in control of like, I don't know, the Eastern Coast. Maybe they're in New York.
The Wendy, that's her name, right? Pigtail.
Yeah, right.
She leads the other kids in the sewers while Amy speaks with Abbott over the loudspeaker, and she basically tells him to go fuck himself. Her beliefs, what we just said, I won't repeat all that. We see what the project that she had Henry. Was his name Henry? Yeah, right.
Bobby.
Fuck. I was about to say Billy.
I was like, who's Henry?
Henry.
Bobby. I don't know. No, Henry might be the owl. He might be the owl kid. I feel like I didn't pull that completely out of my ass. I feel like one of the little hybrid kids living there was named Henry. So Bobby was digging those holes, and it was for the fireworks that we saw her get back in like episode 2 or whatever it was. And she was like, "Do you miss fireworks?" He was like, "Who doesn't?"
I don't.
I know, right? I was like, bad timing, man. Although thankfully,
never hear another firework.
I know. Although thankfully, I learned today that Nico slept through it. Like he was freaking out in the beginning, but that was because I heard that the people who were setting them off,
they're
right in front of our house, basically. He could see them, so he was like the noise plus the fact that there were people out there. But it was like 9:40 something, and it's around his bedtime roughly. So I was like, all right, put him in the crate. And I told Kaylee, I was like, make sure you have like the TV on, something, that'll drown out maybe anything from the outside. And I think she started watching Loki. Yeah, and then when I woke up today, she said that he was fine all night, even with the fireworks going off. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I think I like, just a little tangent here. Like, I'm fine with going to a fireworks show, right? Like, if I make the choice to go somewhere and watch fireworks, that's what I'm choosing to do. I don't mind them. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, fireworks are terrible. Like they, I can't stand them. I just don't like when I'm sitting here and there's like 14 people around me shooting off their own fireworks
and shooting guns.
Yes, and shooting. Well, that's every day for me.
He's like, this is America.
Yeah, this is America, and I live in red, so it's very red outside, and there are guns randomly going off. Yeah, but that's the problem that I have with it, is that people just do it in their backyard, and it's like, hey, my backyard is beside your backyard.
Yeah, no, I get it. So she uses that as a distraction, basically. It's not just a defensive / offensive move, but she also uses it as a distraction for herself to get away, and it's distraction for the kids to know that it's safe for them to continue under the sewers to their meeting point.
You know what? You know what this, like, because, like, Amy is clearly good at this, especially when we see at the end, right? When she's got Tommy and she's in the skyscraper. But, like, to me, her being able to get away here also tells us something about Abbott's men, and that they're not highly trained.
Well, I was gonna say it feels very much that it's like a militia type thing where he was just probably taking any motherfucker off the street, and it would kind of have to be that way if you're getting people who are just like willing to murder people and take their children and murder children, you know. So yeah, they're not the
guy
brightest.
From the beginning of the episode is definitely in this company.
Yes. So Wendy reassures the other kids, and we get, like, through this journey, we get our first look at some of these hybrids.
They all look the same to me.
What the hell? That's racist. I'm pretty speciesist. What do you mean they look the same?
They all had, like, the same features, different colors.
What are you talking about? Some had beaks. Some had.
I didn't see no beaks. I just
Yeah,
saw, like, they
somebody
all
had,
had
like, a
manes.
beak. No, what is wrong?
It's like, you give all of them a haircut, they're fine.
Yes.
What's wrong with y'all?
No, but
maybe one was a badger. I don't know.
I really liked it, especially in this when Wendy goes up and they're still down and she's looking down. Like, you did a good look at all of them just there. I liked it. And then the end of the episode, you know, really good look at all of them. It was very Garbage Pail Kids.
She reassures them, and Bobby goes running up. This was a really shitty plan. I don't understand why Wendy and Bobby went up. Why didn't they just stay down in the sewer?
That I don't know.
I still didn't get why Amy didn't go with them. Like, there was no reason for her not to go.
Yeah, there was.
Done. It turned out that there was, like, she didn't do shit. Like, it's not like if she would have gone, you know, like, what would have happened? They would have broken into the zoo and not found anyone. Like, and they would have just had the zoo like they do now. Like, I don't know why she didn't just go with them. Nothing happened except for the fireworks. It was just, you know, for us to see the fireworks show. That was it.
And it's like, could she have not? Did they need the head start? Because the kids only kept going. Like, at one point, they were under the sewer, and Wendy told them to stop. Because the soldiers were there or whatever. And then when they stopped, or when they passed, she said, okay, we can go. And then they stood in that one spot listening to everything. So, you know, obviously they're saying that they're still in close proximity. And she didn't tell them to move until, so that was clearly part of the plan. I'm assuming they would have been heard otherwise. And then to set it off, she needed, like, she didn't have like a remote detonator. Like, she had to set that thing off, the music box. So I'm guessing somebody had to be there to do that in order to make the noise enough so that they could go, if that makes sense.
I don't buy it. Like, I absolutely, I think that is what we're supposed to think is what their whole reasoning was. But, like, they wouldn't hear them in the sewer. Like, especially when they were driving a fucking tank overhead. Like, they're not going to hear a group of people tiptoeing through the sewer.
And that's the thing, like, the only thing that's why I feel like they kept focusing on that. Like, they're trying to tell us that they could, but I don't know how they could.
Yeah.
But, all right. So, yeah, and then of course the kids are taken because Bobby don't fucking listen. I'm like, oh my god. Also, is it me or we've not seen anybody like Bobby, right?
No, that's Bobby's the only one that we've seen like that.
Okay.
I do think, like, because wasn't one of the things that someone here in this episode said about Gus was, when they were talking about how he is older and then he's more human.
Right. Okay.
Others. And I feel like it is like an evolutionary thing where, like, the first ones were more human, and now as they get, you know,
Gus
further
was
down,
the first and Bobby was the last.
yeah, it's like now it's turned into more. Animalistic.
That needs to be an episode title.
Poppy was the last. No more hybrids. Now they're just all animals.
This is all animal kids. This is terrible. I hate you both.
I
So,
do think that's what they're telling us, though. That the longer it gets into it, the more animalistic the
Right.
babies are.
I mean, that would make sense. Okay, so the Sings bought a zoo. They thought they were going to go get another house. He was going to put them up in another house.
I
was
mean,
like-
technically, only the doctor got the other one got an actual room in the fucking zoo. She got her own cage.
Yeah, she's an exhibit.
Yeah, she's in like an enclosure of some kind. It's so
Don't tap
terrible.
the glass.
Oh my god.
I was like, why can't they bring their horse? You're taking them to a zoo.
You're terrible. I don't think.
Just
Oh
let
my
their horse
God.
go. Like, you have places for a horse?
But we learned two things in this conversation with him, with Abbott and Addie. There's a new wave coming of the sick, and he knew they were bullshitting about having a cure.
Yeah. But how do they know there's a new wave coming? Like,
Well, he said something
do they have a
about
Fauci?
he said something about.
Fauci's still alive.
Well, I thought he said something about the research that what's her face had. The one he killed. When he said that, he's like,
Oh,
you
the
and I,
doctor.
doctor, whatever. Like you saw her papers or some shit. So I don't know, but that's what he says, and I guess that's what we're supposed to believe. Amy realizes the kids are gone because her plan was shitty.
Because they're playing. It was so funny because, like, when
Terrible.
she walks up to the fucking church or whatever, I was like, who the fuck is this? Because I wasn't expecting Amy to have gotten out of there. And then
Yeah,
That was
she
yeah.
just, she just walks up and takes off the helmet, and I'm like, what the fuck?
because
is she doing here?
apparently she didn't even go the way they did.
No, she just put on a fucking jacket. And they were like, no, that can't be her.
That was Amy's plan all along. The kids were the decoys.
now she's child free and living her best life.
She got back up in her penthouse and she felt
Oh
like
my
shit. And she's like, all right.
She just put on some glasses, and it's like, where did Superman go? That's just right there.
Oh, that's my puppy. Or Donnie farted. I don't know. One of the other. So Big Man has a baby goat, I guess.
Yep.
And
And you
that's-
know, we're
that's
seeing
his
it.
kid at-
We're
That's
gonna
his
see
kid
that
at the end. He's at the end of the episode.
I didn't see a goat at the end of the episode.
Yes, he's one of the kids in the fucking.
Oh shit! Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Right, John?
I didn't see him, but I'll take your word for it.
Oh my god.
That would make
Terrible.
sense. That would make
Yeah.
sense. Everybody's a
'Cause
Skywalker.
But no, but those kids were taken, right? We find out.
Well,
Because
the
Big
way
Man-
the way the big man said, because he said they were both gone, made me think that either like why would they take the wife too?
Because maybe you also want to like fucking study on the women that were given birth.
Because I felt like she took the baby and just left.
But okay, how long was he gone? Because it made it seem
Yeah,
like
because he was just went down to the first.
Yeah, he
floor.
rode the elevator downstairs
He was gone.
and he talked to Sing, and then he went like, how long was that nigga in the elevator? Because otherwise, why was she just gave birth 20 minutes ago?
She
was
wasn't
definitely
even
on
in
it.
there.
She took the stairs.
She wasn't even in the room yet.
That's why it just felt like it was
Right.
weird that they were both
They
gone.
said whatever, we'll bring your wife in, and they let him see him. I have a feeling that it was, what the military was there. They just took him. And we don't, I mean, obviously.
They would have
we
taken him too if he had been there. It felt like, right?
Right, and they
Right.
did. Oh, you mean that? Okay, I gotcha.
They would have they would have taken both parents, like,
Gotcha.
but because he wasn't in the room when they came to like take the mother and the baby,
Or
they
they'd
just
have killed
took the
him.
mother. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they would have killed
taken
him.
him
Maybe they
and
killed her.
him. Yeah,
Maybe they killed
I-
the mother. Maybe
Yeah.
they just don't. We just don't know that.
Yeah, that makes more sense. But it's weird because like that nurse absolutely brought him in there to see the baby and was like kind about it and
Mhm.
but I don't know. So anyway, yeah, we see that he has a conversation with Addie in the elevator. He's like, I don't know if I can do this. And, now we're getting, a bigger picture, right? That again, these babies were being born for some time, uh, months apparently, because, Becky's foster parents brought Wendy. Well, what was her name? What was
Wendy?
her?
Yeah.
No, but
Rita.
yeah, but what did that's not what the foster parents named her, right?
Oh, I don't remember.
Well, not her. They would be her biological parents. You know what I mean? The black couple. I thought they named her something else, and I thought she
She
said,
might have mentioned her sister's name, but I can't remember.
yeah, I think she did. I thought she did. But anyway,
I'm doing good to remember her name,
Bear.
Rebecca.
Oh, Rebecca Walker. I think that was her name, yeah. But anyway, and then he says, you'll be surprised at what you can do. Addie says, you'll be surprised what you can do when it's for someone you love, which we know is foreshadowing what they've been foreshadowing all season, which is that Addie's going to cut up with some kids.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna justify it. And
Mm-hmm.
can't
And
justify
especially, and he's going to justify it in not just like why he's doing it for his wife, but any kind of humanity he shows Gus.
Yeah, and the fact, like,
Mhm.
yes, exactly. I'm glad you said that
Mhm.
because it doesn't make it better that he goes, "Oh, Gus can
Mhm.
talk. I'm not gonna kill this one."
Yup.
That doesn't make it better at all.
Yup. Yup. It's like, you still a piece of shit. You know that, right?
It's like just because you recognize the
Mhm.
proximity to humanity in this one, it's
Mhm. Mhm.
doesn't make it any better.
And so yeah, he debates, whether he's gonna run or not, and they don't show us what he does. So I'm like, if they make this nigga a deadbeat, I'm gonna be so mad.
When he, yeah, when
You
he
know?
ran,
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna give him that though. I'm gonna give people that because this is like, like even in real life with parenting, unfortunately, people have this idea of like how they're gonna feel and whatever, and these everybody thinks they're gonna be like the perfect parent, and you may fuck up. You may say something you shouldn't say. You may lose your temper, and I'm not talking about abuse. I'm talking about, you know, human mistakes that people make that
Mhm.
you realize, oh, it's impossible to be whatever idea you think a perfect parent is. So that's like hard enough. But like if you go in there and if you go back and watch that scene, they had that baby bleating. Like he wasn't
Uh,
cooing like a baby.
I,
He was
I,
bleeding. I give that man a moment to be like, wow. Like,
I give him a bit of grace, but not much.
okay.
Because it's one thing if you go into the hospital and it's like you give birth and suddenly, oh shit, it's half animal. But it's like he went in there knowing it was a possibility. He went in there hoping it wasn't going to happen, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like he knew it might happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it did happen, it's just like, it
But like
happened.
how many things there are a lot of things that is going to happen and you're dreading it, right? And you're like, you think you're ready for it, but it's like once you actually see it and experience it, it's something totally different. That's all I'm saying. Like
No, I mean, I
it's
get it, but
it's like we're supposed to think. I don't know. Maybe we've kind of been like normalized to it because we've had Gus, for however many episodes. But I could also just kind of be in like, and that goes for the women too. I could absolutely. And the one thing I don't understand, honestly, is how you don't know ahead of time because sonograms exist.
yeah, I mean that, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. That's
that
one thing
is
that has to be
to
addressed.
me, that is the one thing that's kind of taking me out of all of this debate and stuff because it's like I don't understand how we're supposed to believe. And that was kind of one of the things I wanted answers on, and we've talked about this before. I'm like, did these women, these first women, they made it seem like when Singh rushed Ronnie in there, uh, Ronnie in there the
Ronnie.
first time, Um, and the nurse was like, "Are you a doctor?" Um, they made it seem like it was just like suddenly it was like a nursery full, and it was like,
Mhm.
okay, was every woman who happened to be in the hospital giving birth at that time, did they each give birth to a hybrid? But prior to that, for like the 10 months prior the gestation period, like, were they thinking they were having a fully human kid? Because of course they would have. You know what I mean? Like,
and
because
and like
every woman gets sonograms for the
and
most
here's
part.
the thing is like this is something I'm thinking about. You said that they saw Gus's the picture, right, of Gus,
Hmm.
and it was like what was like the day before
They
everything
said that it
happened.
was. They said it was the day before, and I don't remember the exact words, but it made me think it was the day before they discovered the babies in the hospital
See, and
when
that's
we
the thing
saw
is
I
that.
like,
thought it was the something about the where he was, but maybe
No, but they're assuming for
because she
whatever
said
reason.
something about doomsday or something. But it was she mentioned that everything started in that um, facility.
Right, but the date, whatever the date was, and I don't know if it said DOB or whatever, but whatever date was on there, or maybe it was on his like the documents and stuff. They have a birth date for him. Gus's birth date is the day before a date something in society, and I just don't remember if it's supposed to be the day before the first hybrid was born in the hospital, or if it was the day before someone was first reported with the sick. I don't. I'm That's what I'm a little unclear
and
of.
see, and that's the thing that I was thinking is like, if he was born and then the next day is when the other babies were born,
Hmm.
like how would
How's that
he have,
happen? Right.
yeah, how would he, like, how would they have gone from him to all the other women in the world?
And yeah, exactly. It
Because
would
it's
feel
like,
like,
and how did, like, they've been pregnant for, like you said, for 9 months.
hmm,
And so, like, he was born a day before they gave birth, but then
right,
they had hybrid babies gestating for
right.
9 months.
And
Like,
see, and I want to know, like, and we talk. So I'm imagining that what we saw with here with Big Man and his wife. My
This is only a couple
assumption,
days. I think this is a couple days later,
I don't think it's days,
could be
but
weeks, but it's
yeah, I was gonna say
past the
it.
point of checking sonograms or anything like that.
Well, no. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, but still within the pregnancy. But I'm saying I feel like this scene is probably weeks or months after what we saw when Gus was not even Gus was born. When we saw with seeing the hybrids for the first time, and fuck, now I lost my train of thought. Um. Oh, and so I would imagine that whatever is stopping them from telling ahead of time whether a woman is carrying a baby that's fully human or is going to be a hybrid. I'm assuming that affects all women, right? Who are pregnant. And I'm assuming these are women who were already pregnant. Maybe you were 3 or 4 months pregnant. You get what I'm saying? By the
mhm.
time what we see here in this episode. After that, I'm wondering what was that like? Like, how do you decide, okay, let's have a baby? Like, you have to tell yourself, oh well, whatever, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it's half bird. I don't give a fuck if it's half snake.
Mhm.
Like, you have to tell yourself going into it, right? Because it feels like there has to be a period of time where you're getting information. But then again, I don't know. We just saw what we went through with COVID, with people believing stupid shit, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like, I think that um, Tommy's wife was pregnant before all the hybrid shit started, right?
Yeah, because and when she said it can't happen twice, I thought she was talking like they had a miscarriage before or a stillbirth before, because he was so worried. You remember?
Hmm.
And she's like, it can't happen twice. So I was thinking she can't be talking about a hybrid because what you do with the first one, what happened? Right?
Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh, at some point in their marriage, they must have suffered maybe a stillbirth or something. And so here again, and this was when I was still thinking, are we going to see his baby being one of the first? Meaning, now this baby's going to be born, and we're going to see Singh being called to the nursery from the other POV. You get what I mean? But it feels like oh no, people have been having these babies for. So even when he goes to the elevator, and he's I got to get up to the maternity ward, and he goes, I can't do that. And I'm like, why does the military have that cordoned off like that? I'm like, oh, okay, this has maybe to do with the sick, right? So I thought, oh, is that going to be it? Like, he's going to regret letting her go up to that maternity ward because they think they're going to have a healthy baby, normal, quote unquote, baby. And whatever's going on, do you know what I mean? So I'm still not, I told you, I had this show all wrong. And then they were like, nope, we've been having hybrids but I'm like, okay, then why couldn't he let them up? Like, what, you know what I mean? There's still stuff we don't know, clearly. And I don't say that in a negative way. That's in a good way for world building. But I do think there's still a lot of stuff like pre-apocalypse that is not, I'm not quite sure how we got there.
Yeah, I mean, I think like part of it is like the hospital was full. And then part of it was like the possibility, because like when they pull up and run over the yellow guy, and they're like, you can't go in here if you're sick, you gotta just stay home. And he's like, no, she's not sick, she's pregnant. Like, it felt like all of that was about keeping sick people out of the hospital. So it felt like all the military being there was like if she's sick, she's gotta stay at home. But like, he was like, she's not sick. He had to keep telling everybody, she's not sick, she's pregnant.
Oh, okay, got it.
That's what it felt like to me. It's like, so like when they didn't let him up, and he was like, no, she's pregnant, look at her. And then they looked at her and they're like, oh, okay, I guess.
Let her up there go have one of them babies with hooves or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Bear, what's this woman's name? Judith? Julie?
Judy.
Okay. Also, remember how I was like, I think she's sus. I think she's bad. I think she's gonna da-da-da. She ain't do none of that stuff. She's just
She's still sus.
She's still sus.
Why?
I mean,
you know what?
She wasn't telling them the truth.
Wait, you know what? Let me shut up because I can't get a read on this show. So if y'all say she's sus, she's sus.
I mean, she was sus in this episode. I don't know if she's she's sus moving forward. But we found out in this episode that she wasn't telling them the full truth. And Bear had to ask her directly about things. And do we think was that bear that Bear found her bear? Was that hers? Or was that just something that reminded her of something?
I thought it reminded her of something. No?
I don't know. I just know that she kept looking at it, and then, like, didn't she have one like it?
Oh, the stuffed animal?
Yeah, the stuffed animal.
Yeah, no, they went back to it, and that's what brought up the flashback, because then she sees either her or her sister with a
yeah, and that's what I was asking is like, are we?
Yeah, but it wasn't the same one.
Yeah,
is what
I didn't think it was the same one, but
yeah, I think that was just what caused her to like open up, and I thought, like, I mean, I will just say for me, I didn't think that she was sus. And I kept waiting for her to be. I kept waiting for the reveal that was her sister. And so when she kept looking around, I thought she was going to see something, and be like, this baby, but once she just was like talking to her and asking her questions and she opened up to her, I just didn't think she was sus. But she does ask her about Birdie's work and the hybrids causing the sick, and she says the only thing she said to me about it was that they are they're each one side of the same coin. The hybrids
one side of the same coin.
You know what I mean?
No, but
two sides of the same coin. The disease and the hybrids.
And that's the thing is like, because Judy kept saying, "Oh, I don't really know. Like, she didn't really tell me anything." I was like, I don't know if she's telling the truth. That was the sus part.
Okay.
I don't know if
I
she's
gave that
telling the
much
truth
thought
about that.
She does say that they were like sisters and that, she just stayed there because she was left behind. She may have some hurt feelings about that, maybe. I don't know. But
And I'm like, how has she, like, she's the only one here. How has she just survived? It feels like she must have some connections.
yeah. Maybe I wonder if well, no, because she's not acting like that. I was gonna say, I wonder if she is in touch with Birdie, but she was basically just trying to feel them out before giving them access to her. I don't know.
I'm thinking she might have connections with Abbott because that plan.
Yeah, that really she had a walkie-talkie or whatever.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. And when I thought she was shady in the last episode, I thought she was going to sell them out to Abbott, or that she already had. So when she had asked them, like, she led them up to the attic or whatever, I thought she was going to lock them in there. But then Gus ran out. I'm like, well, she could have already called, But then, like, nothing happened. So I was like, okay.
She's still sus. I'm going to throw her out the door. She's sus.
Big Man finds Sweet Tooth by the plane. And Sweet Tooth feels like he should have stayed in the woods. Because the only thing out here is just lies and death. I was like, welcome to the world, kid. That's how it was pre-apocalypse too. He wants to go to the preserve. He wants to find it. He wants to find other kids like him. I like when he was like, I don't want to be special. I want to be like everybody else. But he realizes that, like, for that means kids like him. Do you know? I like that he doesn't want to be human. He just wants to be with kids like him.
It was when he was like, I'm sick of being the weird one. I was like, me too.
Oh. Oh, that was just, this kid, I think, is doing a great job with this material too.
He is.
Yeah. He tells Gus, Big Man tells Gus that he had a baby like him. We learned that he did go back, but that they were gone. And he tells Gus that he thinks that he is one of his good decisions that he's made. Don't make me lose you too. But then Big Man is shot, and I was like, if he dies, I'm going to personally go punch Donnie in the face.
They played it like he fucking died too.
Yeah, they did.
I was like, he ain't dead. He can't fight.
I don't look.
They left his body there, like just a tad too long, and they made you think
he's a black man on a television show. I make. there are no promises.
And I was just like, right after he was like, maybe we can live in the woods. I was like, no, you can't. I refuse. He's like, Big Man, I heard a loud noise. And I was like,
big boom.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then he just fell backwards. I was like, oh, shit.
Singh was going to start with Gus. So Gus is taken to the zoo. Singh was going to start with him, but Gus spoke. Now, Gus did this on purpose, right?
Talking to him?
I want to believe he did, because before the thing went up, the blanket or cover was lifted from his cage, you heard him telling himself over and over again the advice that Big Man gave him. Don't let them know you can talk. Don't let them know you can talk. Which I, at the time, thought was a silly thing to need for them to feel like they needed to remind us. Certainly by having him say it out loud. Like, why not just have like voiceover in his head, I guess? Because if you don't want them to know you can talk, stop talking. But so it just felt like, oh, this is purposeful. Maybe they want to remind us that it's rare for these kids to talk, right? And then before the thing is lifted, Singh is doing, making his medical notes into the recorder. And he's like, please, God, forgive me for what I'm about to do as I sharpen my blades. I don't know. Like, right. I feel like Gus was about to start doing like that fucking frog in the WB.
Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy.
Yes!
Hello, my grandson. Yeah.
He was about to start performing. You hear me? Because
he was like, where's my top hat? I'll pull out music game, frog.
I can talk. He's about to start reciting shit like Tom Hiddleston. Reading Shakespeare and shit.
And then Sing is like, "Hey Johnny, look at this, and then he refuses to talk to
No,
him.
he just goes he's like starts licking himself like an animal. He just gets real primal.
Ma.
Anyway,
He's like,
I'm
I
sorry.
swear he was talking.
I'm sorry. I muted to take a drink. I feel like he did that. I want to believe he did that on purpose. That he thought because if you hear somebody saying, "Please forgive me for what I'm about to do," you probably should start thinking quick. Okay, what the fuck does he mean by that? But then also because he's asking for forgiveness, I'm like, well, maybe if I humanize myself, I don't know. I want to believe Gus did it on purpose. He's like, thanks. If not, I mean, it was the stupidest best mistake of his life. If he didn't do it on purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
That
Sing
saved
was
his fucking
gonna
life.
cut him open.
Oh yeah.
Sing was like, I am ready. Because like,
Yeah. Put his wife in a fucking aquarium or something.
I mean, when they have the other kid, the like lizard boy.
Notice how they came up with the most repulsive combo they could think of to make the audience be somewhat okay with this shit. That it's not Gus. Sorry.
That's you. That's you being someone okay with it.
I'm projecting.
A decent human being was like, this is still fucked up. Just because this child doesn't look as cute as the other one and he can't speak. Like, he's still a
Oh,
child.
you admit though he's not as cute as the other ones.
No, he's not as cute as Gus or Wendy or Henry.
Don't say the bird baby.
Bird.
Is he cuter than Bobby?
No, but like he's more human.
Yeah, they did make him look as like less human, least human like as they could.
Yeah, I mean, I was still like.
Oh, I was disturbed. No, I was no. I'm
Oh, you were like, cut him up, cut him up.
I was like, woo, frog legs. No, I was not. I was not.
You were like, yeah, get him up. Just fry up those legs. Let's eat 'em.
Frog legs, woohoo.
But I mean, what I was getting at though was that Sing was like, I'm ready as hell.
Oh yeah.
Like, with that one who wasn't talking, it was like, yeah, I'm fine with this now.
He was like, enough fucking around.
And Abbott was right there.
That motherfucker.
It's all fucked up.
And
I'm ready to learn like Abbott, like his history and the fact
same. Yeah.
that he was not like military or anything at all.
Yeah, I need to know how this motherfucker got involved and got as much power as he has, even if it's just Colorado.
he was the leader of the Proud Boys. The Colorado.
Probably. You know that guy in the beginning stormed the Capitol, right? The guy who didn't want to put his mask on.
Where was he on January 6th? I was gonna say something. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, sorry.
Something about Abbott. I don't remember. It'll probably come to me.
The little statue that Ronnie gave Addie when he graduated from medical school was the goddess of learning who once appeared as a deer. So he's taking this as a sign. And this, I mean, look.
He's looking for anything to talk himself out of this.
But, you know, I'm not, like, please, people don't get offended. But I feel like this is, like, what you can do with religion, though. Like, you notice how you use it. Yeah, you can absolutely shift it to justify your behavior if you want to.
I mean, it's just like, hey, this is a book of fables. What I was going to say, I remembered. It can't, like, because of what happened, Abbott was there when they picked up Gus, right? Or no?
They didn't show him.
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
I thought he was there.
I thought he was there. I thought he looked at him, didn't he? I thought he said something to him. Why am I
He
am I
might have.
misremembering now? And then they decided to because I thought one of them reported to him that Big Man was a traitor or something like that.
Yes, yeah, he was there.
So he
And so
was there. Yeah.
like he has seen Gus up close and personal. And for that reason, he can't have been in that lab and seen Gus before.
Right, because well, again, I don't know. I feel like honestly, I know what you're getting at, and I feel like that just might be plot hole.
Maybe. Because I feel
Yeah,
like he
because
should have been in that lab. Like it feels like it
yeah,
makes sense that he was in the lab, but him seeing Gus and not recognizing him
and
feels
I
like
also don't buy. I don't think, and maybe that's what we're supposed to get from this, that the fact that he existed wasn't actually a secret. Do you see what I mean? And because they absolutely planned on going to take whatever that research is, what you know what I mean, like whatever they were doing that night, and that's what I think he might have been involved in, right? Because there was a military presence there then, right? When
Mhm.
it was like the military was taken over, so it made sense to me that there's some people in the military somehow aware of Gus is what I thought, but at the very least the experiment, and I'm just wondering if it was a matter of they got notes and stuff but they didn't have him,
Yeah.
and so this whole thing with him being like Gus knowing what Abbott looks like
Yeah.
could be in that vision could be just a plot hole, or we can learn that again, like she thought they didn't know, but then again, next thing you know, and she's about to get laid and they're like, nope, you got to come there about to take your shit, so who's to say that they
Yeah.
didn't know? I don't know.
It could have been a memory that was like when Gus was like in the tube or
And I was going to
whatever.
say, they have established that. I mean, I don't know about being in a tube, but I thought they did establish that he has memory from. Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry. When you said tube, I thought you meant like a test tube.
Yeah. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. I meant like because they call him a test tube baby, and like I don't. We were assuming that he came out of an egg, but
Right.
like it's possible like he was grown. Like what I was getting at is that he could have seen Abbott at a point in his life where he wasn't recognizable like as a deer baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
he could have been like an embryo or something.
Yeah.
So like he could have seen Abbott and have a memory in his brain of what
Right.
Abbott looks
And
like.
because they
but
have
Abbott
established
doesn't
that.
know.
Right. And they did establish that Gus remembers being in that like incubator
Yeah.
as an infant, right? And seeing people. Okay. Julie, what's her name? Julie? Yeah. So she tries to get Bear, and that's how we learn about Bear's foster parents. Donnie, who is that in the background making noise? Is
Katie.
that my dog?
No,
What
it's
is she
Katie.
doing?
Making pizza.
Tell her to make that pizza more quietly, please. Oh, I think he just muted. The foster parents were killed. She met Tiger. Aw.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was like, I met someone like me. I called her Tiger and she called me Bear. And I was like, this is nice. Except we know how it ended.
Yeah, she's like, then she betrayed me. Then I was alone again. I was like, stop being dramatic. You were alone for like 5 minutes.
Judy doesn't know that.
Right? Like, you didn't, I mean, but she's being dramatic then. She was like, then I was alone again.
Yeah,
I was like,
and
it's like, chill out. She'll feed you. Stop. You don't need to lay it on so thick.
Bear's a storyteller.
So yeah, so she tries to get to know her. And at this point, like, Wendy is her sister, but the show hasn't told us yet, right? They don't show it until that.
Right, they don't show it
in
till later.
Flash.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm going to say it here. This is her sister. And Julie tells her
I'm
not
more
to
curious
give up
to see
on her.
who dropped her off. Like,
Yes.
Did Bear drop her off there?
No,
No.
they took her. She never saw her from when they took her from the house.
Unless Bear is lying. But I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know
why would she-
what
yeah.
reason we would have
Right.
to.
And then why would you show? Yeah. Please.
Because I mean, Bear says that she spent a long time looking for her sister, and so why would you look for someone that you gave away?
Exactly.
It's gonna come out that it was Big Man. Like he dropped the baby off there. It's all connected.
sound like Dark and Lost and Westworld and other, and you see what that thinking, how that got me this season. Stop it. You've been right all season. Just don't dig too deep. No, but it probably is that. Because they're making they basically ended, right, with a thing about how it all comes full circle. Right? Because Amy ends up with what's his face? Yeah.
You choose your own family.
No.
This turned into like a backdoor Fast and Furious, and that sounds dirty when I mention it.
Yeah, Amy finds Big Man, and she's like, we're gonna get her kids back, and they're in her old office. How'd she get his big ass up the fucking flights? How? The elevators don't work.
How do you know?
Fireman's scary.
Wait, John, shut up. Donnie, what did you say?
What? Like, the thing that I said was more ridiculous than what he said?
I don't know. I didn't hear what he said, but yours was pretty ridiculous. I told you to hush on it on your own merit. Because I just got a visual of her carrying him up the stairs that way, and it was ridiculous. Donnie, what did you say?
I said, how do you know the elevator didn't work?
See,
well, I don't know. His actually makes more sense because, I mean, that motherfucker was Googling shit a couple of episodes ago.
Right?
I don't know what's going. I don't know what's going on. This world is clearly not as bad as we thought.
This is one thing that I never like. It's always a thing that happens in these apocalypse stories, and you just have to let it go. But honestly, it's hard because it's just like, how are they driving around? Yeah. It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Gas goes bad.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. You can't just have gas there. You have to.
What if there's like what if there's still some sort of like functioning world? It's just real terrible. Like, and just in terms of like you have like these factions of people like Abbott. Like Abbott does control this territory, and then you have another guy. And so within that,
Mr. Abbott got the power back.
Like maybe that's just what it is all over the world, and so we're still like trading in some way, but like I don't know.
That's exactly what I want, because we haven't really seen that.
Because then you got to be like, who's qualified to go out there and still, what's it called, fracking? I don't know.
Fracking?
I don't know. How do you get gas again? Oil.
I mean, you got to drill.
There you go.
I mean, they're frack. You can frack, but I would hope they would at least stop fracking.
But I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you brought up a good question. How are they getting fuel? Like, isn't there something about like, if you lose electricity, like nuclear reactors, like there's all like satellites, there's all kinds of stuff that requires like maintenance and stuff, right?
Yeah, I think that nuclear reactors would eventually just melt down, and then you'd have that on your hands. Mm-hmm. Like because you need electricity and coolant and shit like that,
right,
to maintain those. So yeah, the thing that makes a lot of sense is just like, oh, these are electric cars or something, and they're solar powered.
Yeah.
That, but they never say that in these stories. They just say gas is very scarce, and it's like gas should not exist unless, like you said, this is a world that is kind of just like sort of broken, and in that case, like that would be cool. It would be cool to see like what the country looks like, what the world looks like,
and who is controlling these certain, these
that's
powers. Like who's controlling the gas? Who's controlling? Yeah.
Then this show would be a little like a little movie called Postman.
Oh my god, what's wrong with you?
Listen, I like Postman. It's a good movie.
Is that Kevin Costner?
Yeah, yes. Kevin Costner, yeah.
Donnie sounds so defeated. He was like, yes.
that and Waterworld I can never watch again.
Oh, okay.
You're lost. I really like the execution of Postman. Yeah, it leaves wanting for more. But the premise is cool because it is like what we're talking about. It's an apocalyptic world.
But you still got to get your mail.
well, it's an allegory, but it ends with them having restarted society.
Okay.
And so, like, that's what I like. Is like that. It's like they went through an apocalyptic period, and thanks to the mailman, they saved it. They came through it, and so, like, I think that's interesting. I think, and if they could do that on this, is like, they could get through it.
Gus
And
meets
then
all the. Go ahead.
They could have a statue of Tommy.
Kevin Costner? Oh, Tommy, sorry. That's Big Man. Okay.
Kevin
Jepper.
Costner. Yeah, the postman.
Gus
In
meets the
Malta.
other kids, and we get to see. There was one in particular. She was like, like looking at the screen. She's like to your left, to the left of Wendy, like, and she had like it looked like spider webbing over her face. It's like, what the fuck is she?
A
What?
child.
Spider Girl.
John, you know what? You go right to hell. You know what I mean. Because you mean to tell me, okay, no, that's bullshit. Because even Singh asked, no, not like, you know what I mean. Because even Singh asked him, what kind did you have?
Well,
In the elevator.
Singh is not a very good person.
Well, but they are half animal, and just like we are classified within the animal kingdom, it only makes sense that you would start to classify them. You would have to.
Uh-huh.
What? You would have to.
Because,
like, do you think Gus and Wendy could grow up and have like little babies together?
probably.
Then what would they be? What if hybrids just have human babies? Then we just go back full circle.
Maybe it's just like one generation, and the whole world fell apart.
We just take turns.
It's like twins. Like you have twins in your family line.
I swear y'all
Like,
brought that movie up last week. Oh God!
That
All
was-
right, so
I do think that when they grow up, that all of the hybrids should be able to reproduce together. Like that should be a possibility because they are human.
But here's the thing, though. Like, I know this is getting super graphic, but like, take Big Man's kid.
I just thought of the best way to end this whole show.
What?
Just it shows James Brolin. He's got little antlers, and it was Gus all along doing the voiceover.
Oh, you're terrible.
I found my family. And then, like, it's not James Brolin, but it's Vin Diesel.
Anyway, I don't even. Oh, so
Fast
like you take. So you take Big Man's kid, for instance, literally a kid, because he was a goat, right?
Yeah, the
He was like a
goat boy.
baby. Yeah, he had he had a goat baby. He had a diaper on, but like he had hooves. He had like his legs and his feet were like a goat's, right? So
he was
like I
what do they call it? A satyr. You know, like the
And I think
half
his-
goat, half human.
but like
mythical.
but also his arms were too, right? I'm not sure.
I-
I don't. No, maybe not. But then he definitely like his nose and his ears and his head and stuff were, and like across his shoulder. But anyway, when you see him in the end of the episode, he has on like pants and boots. I noticed that. Like galoshes.
Mhm.
Because otherwise he has hooves. Like we know he has hooves. And if you look at him, you can tell. Like he looks like like a little black boy, but he's very fair. Like he looks biracial. And I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Big Man's son. But like you have a kid like that, like I don't know what kind of genitalia, like I don't know. Is it like, because the other thing then is another question I had. Is it me, or are they setting it up like there's just one?
Just one what?
Like one kind? Like have we seen the same kind of hybrid?
Oh,
Oh, you mean like a pig girl and a pig boy and
Right.
another pig girl?
Right.
Yeah,
I feel like for
I
some reason they're showing us just these ones, but I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's just
I
for the sake of the story right now or what.
I feel like that's just visually like more interesting
Mhm.
as a TV show. Like to not repeat. I don't think it's
Okay.
I don't take it as like this is
Mhm.
supposed to mean there can only
Okay.
be one.
Um.
I don't know if
mm,
that makes sense to y'all, but
Yeah.
that's what
No.
I
No.
take.
No. No. I thought it makes more sense that there's several of the same kind, a kind of hybrid, but I noted that I don't feel like they've shown us that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that means something or like you said, if it's just visually more interesting. I don't know if it means something yet. But they don't really, to me, talk about it in a way that makes me feel definitively one way or the other. Like the characters were in the show, to my recollection, they don't yet talk about it in a way that I can say for sure. But um so Ronnie's along with her Scrabble tiles. Bear ends up getting Birdie on the phone. She's out in Alaska. That's it. That's all I got. Gus gets hugs. He's like, "Oh, this is nice."
Yeah, he was like, "Oh wow, wow,
Mhm.
this is great, guys. Can we do this
Mhm.
outside?"
Right. I really want these kids to go full like Home Alone on these motherfuckers. I feel like these kids are gonna like rescue themselves, and
Yeah,
I
just
hope
like
that's.
Garbage Pail Kid,
Oh my god.
or like I don't know, like the Lost Boys
Okay,
and Peter
maybe like
Pan.
that. Maybe like that.
Rufio.
Ah, speaking of which,
Gus is Rufio. He's the oldest one.
is that who Rufio was? Was he
Yeah,
the? Oh, he was the. Yeah, that's right. He was. Yeah,
Dante Basco, the
that's
voice
right.
of Zuko.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna
There was
pull up the.
also the sorry. Uh, I just wanted to really quickly mention the cover, the folksy cover they did of Auld Lang Syne, Auld Lang
Oh
Syne.
yeah, 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 yeah. At the end, that's right. Yeah.
I was like Mumford and Sons. It was like should old acquaintance.
I forgot about that. Oh. All right. Yeah. So we have feedback from Kim. I'm already laughing because she brought up exactly that first scene, and we begin with the anti-vaccine, COVID-denying assholes of the world. Yes, Amy. Too bad you didn't take out the supreme asshole. Yeah, you think she killed anybody? Because like they were like going off like they were bombs. Like guys were like flying and shit, and I'm like, I don't know if she really killed anybody,
Yeah,
but it was way more violent than I thought it would be.
I mean, honestly, like,
What?
I'm trying to think if I should say it
Oh.
because like I'm not joking about it at all.
Oh, okay.
But I was reminded when Abbott got hit, the hockey player who died this weekend.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. I forgot that he got hit. Yeah, we were talking.
yeah, I shared it.
Yeah, Donnie shared it on Facebook. John and I both tweeted it, I think, today. Um, and I was telling John earlier, Donnie, that it was a 24-year-old hockey player who died yesterday, Sunday, on 4th of July. Um, and what, like, so when I saw it earlier today, this morning, like, the headline I saw was something like, NHL player and dies from fireworks explosion, right? So I was like, well, fuck, like,
Was
what
that
the fuck?
was that what? Because I did you see it? Because I know it was reported differently.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So the first thing I saw, the headline said that he was killed by a fireworks explosion. When you click the article, though, and this is what was this morning. I don't remember which publication it was, but when I clicked the article, in the article it said he slipped and fell getting out of a hot tub and sustained a serious head injury and was pronounced dead at the hospital. So I was like, how is that from an explosive thing? So then you keep reading, and then so it's giving you information about like the team he played for and stuff, and then the kind of recap part of the news article says that they were running out of the hot tub from a fireworks explosion. that hit him in the chest. And he fell and hit his head. So I was like, well, which one killed him? Like, because even within the article, they said two different things. But the headline said that it was the fireworks that did it. Mm-hmm. But then later, they were like, oh, it was definitely the fireworks. The head injury wasn't it. And I was like, that's not what the first thing I read said.
Like the medical examiner, I think, like declared like his cause of death was the chest contusion or whatever from the fireworks. But anyway, so that's what I was reminded of when I saw this. I was like, because Abbott got hit and then he fell.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but be reminded of it because that news happened, and then I watched the episode like a couple hours later.
Yeah.
And so just to answer your question, I don't think she actually killed anyone, but I did feel like she probably should have. Like if realistically, you know. I was like,
because I said, there was like guys like
should have died.
They were like flying into cars and shit, and I was like, okay. But anyway, she says, "Damn it, Bobby! Now that you and Wendy have been captured, what's going to happen to you? What's going to happen to the other kids?" I feel like Bobby would be the first one that they would experiment on too.
Yeah,
well, maybe not because he's so different. Yeah, but he's also, I don't know, because again, they're just all they care about is this disease, whereas I'm thinking they're not caring about, they're not trying to figure anything out with the hybrids. Does that make sense? So,
yeah,
I don't know. But the way
he just wants the fucking cure, that's all he wants.
But even still though, like even the way science works, to me, in my mind, I would think that you would consider those things still, right? Like if you are,
and I'm sure there is, but we're only dealing with a small pocket of the U.S. But I'm sure there's people out there doing that.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you would think that they would say, like, I can't remember what it was. I feel like we watched something recently. Maybe it was even this early on. But I definitely, when they're presenting something like this and they're beating around the bush basically saying, oh, you got to like experiment on kids, but they don't want to say it, so then they're like, yes, but it needs to be the marrow, and it's like, yeah, sure, great, yeah, we can get some marrow in here, the marrow of a 2-month-old, some shit like that, and you're like, oh,
and you gotta cut it out.
Right, they gotta be right. It's like, and they must be in excruciating pain when you do it, no anesthesia, like that type of shit. So anyway, what was I saying? What was I saying?
Well, I can say, like, they're not dissecting.
They're not. Yeah, they're not trying to like figure out anything to help these kids or anything like that. But it still makes sense to me that they would consider from whatever they need. And he said what it is, right? What is it? Marrow? What are they taking from there's something?
It's some gland or something.
There's two things. There's like bone marrow and some kind of gland or something.
Yeah. So it's like, you would think, like, as a scientist, like, isn't that what you do? Like, you try everything, right? You try and record everything. So it makes sense to me that they would consider, well, maybe we need, a hybrid that's more animal than human, or vice versa, or whatever. And so in that case, you have Bobby and Gus would clear, or I would say Wendy too, right? Wendy is very, but that's because of the Papa and Amy's influence. So that's what I was wondering with Bobby. Are we supposed to believe that Bobby lived out in the wild so long that this is like, if you shave him, will he look like a little boy?
No, I don't think so.
Because he was able to learn how to talk and stuff, so it's just that, was Bobby on them streets? It was life hard to Bobby. Bobby had to learn how to use utensils and shit, wear clothes. I don't know.
It's a hard knock life,
right? So but no, it feels like what you were saying, like just genetically, he's more animal than human.
Yeah, and I think like what I was gonna say is, they shouldn't be cutting these kids open, obviously.
Right.
That's obvious. But what you were saying, they're not even doing it like with any interest in learning anything about the hybrids. Mm-hmm. Like, they're only doing it because, this thing is in there and we want to take it out.
Right.
And then it's like, presumably they're just going to be like, well, throw that body away because we got what we needed.
And that's typically when they figure out what they've been doing wrong. is when they start thinking a bit differently, if that makes sense. Like if they're,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, we thought the secret was in this, but maybe we should have been looking into mothers, or we should have been only focusing on hybrid. Like, you know, like that kind of narrow focus is usually their downfall.
Yeah, it's like in Monsters Inc. when
Oh my God.
they think that making kids scared provides them energy, but really they learn making kids laugh provides much more energy.
Oh, okay. So anyway, she says, poor Gus, poor Tommy, I just want to hug them both. I knew Wendy was going to turn out to be Bear's sister. I know, like, Donnie said that last week. I was like, Donnie, shut up. I also knew Birdie was alive, which I said would have been a really good cliffhanger. That's the only thing I got right. That's the only thing. Her answering that phone or that radio is a kind of like stinger credit thing. Anyway, I knew Birdie was alive and that Amy found Tommy. I can't wait for those two to team up. She's like, we get our kids back tomorrow. I was like, slow down, sis.
He's like,
he
I
got
just
a bullet wall, right?
Like, he just got shot by like a fucking sniper rifle.
Right? Like, she's like, we get our kids back tomorrow. I was like, tomorrow?
He's like, well, tomorrow's a holiday.
Right?
Like-
Jesus. I'm guessing that sheep hybrid that the cameras lingered on at the preserve is Gus's son. I think you mean... Is it a sheep or a goat?
Gus's son.
I think you mean... I think she meant
Tommy.
Big Man's, yeah. But is it a sheep or a goat? I think it's a goat, right?
You could put a sheep and a goat in front of me, and I would be like, maybe I know which one is which.
He's like, and I'd eat them both.
Lamb chops, goat chops.
Would I?
I hope not.
I don't think I think I've had lamb. I don't think I've had goat.
Goat's milk.
I've not had goat's milk at all.
No,
no,
yeah,
that.
like, yeah.
I think I had lamb in an Indian dish. I don't remember the name of it.
I don't like either. I don't want to try either. So I know I don't like them. Yes, I know these coincidences are sappy, but I don't care. I like them all. As for Dr. Singh, I think he, like many before him, might find that selling your soul for someone you love could actually destroy the very thing you were trying to preserve. I think she's already lost. I think she's just already a bit of a bitch. And she's a lost cause, but he's in love. So.
He's gonna save her. And then she's like, I kind of like Abbott.
She's going to divorce
I'll
him.
see you later. I'll see you later, Addie.
I actually hope that happens. I really hope he saves her life and she divorces him.
He's like.
What if she starts sleeping with Abbott and then Singh just finds out?
What if he does it and she doesn't know that he could see her on the other side? What is wrong with us? Anyway, I gotta go to bed.
But I think
so she says,
he's gonna be like, "But I saved your life," and she's gonna be like, "Did you though? I mean, you wouldn't have if Abbott hadn't forced you." So it's really Abbott who saved my life.
She was like, "If I hadn't started tap dancing."
And plus, he has that beard.
Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't get over the fact that he looks like the guy from Spirited Away. So she says, after all, if he succeeds, looking at Ronnie will be a constant reminder of what he did. Resentment is not an unusual end result. Yeah, that's true too. I want to open up a home for those sweet, innocent children. Humanity truly is an abomination. This show needs a second season. Well, hopefully, I agree, and hopefully it gets one. Netflix has been a bit slow in announcing some of these renewals. They took their sweet time announcing the second season of Shadow and Bone. So here's to hoping that it will be announced soon.
And that's one of the things about these things. Like when I was watching The Tomorrow War, and I was like, this movie is so fucking expensive. And then I was like, Amazon made this just to stream it. Like, they're not... Like, I don't understand the business model of how these companies make money off of things they're just streaming. Because like I get like, oh, I pay a monthly subscription, but like
Right.
I pay that anyway.
Right.
But then they keep making more things. And I'm just like, where is this money? Like, where are they making up this money? And so that's like, it's like you just said that about renewing this show, and I was like, I don't know, like, I don't know how they pay for any of this shit.
And I don't know how like they determine like this is successful, this isn't. And you know, they're still like very close to the chest with their numbers. Like a lot of these streaming services are. I don't know if any one of them, unless it's like usually it's just something like WandaVision has its Disney Plus says WandaVision was its most streamed premiere, but like they don't tell you the numbers.
Yeah. And I feel like all that shit, like just to talk about that for a moment, the only reason, like I wouldn't say the only reason, but a big part of the reason why that would be the case is because they have more subscribers now.
Yeah.
So like if you have more subscribers, yeah, more people are going to stream your new show than stream your old show.
Exactly.
When you had fewer subscribers.
So
I don't know. Like at Netflix, even if this show gets a second season, it's I don't know about a third or a fourth.
right. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Netflix
Yeah.
just
It's no
doesn't do
guarantee. Yeah. There's no
that. Netflix,
guarantee.
whenever the show gets too expensive in like the third season, they're like, fuck it.
You just got to pray that, you know, it's good and that you get your answers in whatever seasons it gets. So,
Yeah, or at least they film it in such a way that it can end.
right, exactly.
Like this is not an ending. What
No,
we got here is
absolutely
an
not.
ending.
They better not. So anyway, that is it for this show. I want to thank you guys for listening. Like I said, I am trying to figure out what can be the next thing or two that's on this free show. I do want to start hacks. I just have to figure out when I can fit it in, and I'd also have to consult with Ellen to check her schedule. But as it stands right now, July is pretty full, so it probably won't be this month. Like I said at the top of the show, we got a lot of stuff coming up in this next week, but check the schedule because July is packed. And I am most likely going to knock out both Motherland and Black Summer this month in July. So feedback posts for those will go up. What's today? Monday? Probably tomorrow, Tuesday. So look out for that. All right, but in the meantime, if you want to hear us talking about Loki, we got episode 5 this week. I'm so looking forward to that, considering how this last episode ended. I have so many questions. But yeah, if you want to hear us talking about Loki and Attack on Titan and Money House.
Money House.
That's like the follow-up to Money Pit.
I would watch it.
I would.
Get Tom Hanks back in here.
Who's the other one? Diane Keaton? No, not Keaton. Diane.
Was it Diane Lane?
No.
Was that who it was?
No, the one from. No, Sam and Diane. What was her real name? What's her real name?
Shelley.
Shelley
Long.
Long? Yeah, I think it was Shelley Long. Right?
Yep, it was.
Okay. Anyway, we got a lot of good stuff coming up. Not Money House, but Money Heist. Donnie and I are kicking that off this weekend. So go to patreon.com/podcastfandom to become a premium subscriber. Thank you guys for listening. See you tomorrow. Good night.